guys, so recently I have been preparing for an upcoming market that I have at the end of April, and it is currently spring break for me right now, so I'm going to see how many plushies I can make in this entire week of spring break. Now, I will go ahead and say that I did get a little bit of a late start to this video because I didn't start making these plushies until Tuesday, so about 3 days into spring break. And each day I'm kind of working on this mostly at night because I am still kind of having things to do during the day. So I'm just doing the best I can with what time that I have. So my goal is to make as many plushies as I can because those are what sells the best for me. So we're gonna see how many I can make. Okay, so I've only made one plushie today, which I know is kind of a bad start to this challenge, but I had a lot of things to do today, so I really didn't have time to work on it until tonight, and it just took me a while. So one thing that I like to make a lot are these chubby dinos, which is a free pattern on Instagram. It's by Studio Phoebe 22, and so she also came out with a Stegosaurus pattern, and so I've got all the parts made. This is the body, and then I've got 4 of the little feet, and then the spikes. I'm gonna wait to sew it together tomorrow, but I finished crocheting it all tonight, and I don't know if this is just a me issue because when I crochet plushies, I don't like to do the thing where you like slip stitch into the first stitch of the round and then like chain one and start the next row. I don't know if I explained that right, but because I never do that, so I don't even know if that's the correct way to do it. I literally just crochet into the next round, like I just keep going. But by doing that, the beginning of each row, it started, you know, in the center, but then it slowly veers off to the side. So the beginning of each round does not just start all in one straight line. It's like at an angle, which I think kind of messes up this pattern a little bit. Obviously it didn't mess it up too much, like it still looks right for the most part, but I can tell, and also I just know because I made it, that it's just the teeniest little bit off because the belly is supposed to be flat, you know, and it is a little round just because I stuff it a lot. Okay, that's the main reason why it's poking out a little bit. But right, like you don't do any increases on this side because it's just all gonna be flat. You're only increasing on this top part, and I just know that like as I'm getting closer to the end, it's slightly off. It's not directly in the center at the bottom. So I think tomorrow when I make this, I'm going to try that other method where you like, when you're starting a new row, you just slip stitch into the first stitch and then chain. So it's supposed to, I think that helps it go straight up. I don't know. I might not even be explaining that right, but I'm gonna try it and see if that helps. And if it does, great, I'll keep doing that. But yeah, this rainbow yarn, it's one of the like Yarn Bee baby ones from Hobby Lobby. I don't remember the color name, but I bought it, and it's one of the thin ones. It's not one of the velvet yarns that's like the bulky weight. This one is thin enough to use the same kind of hook you would with like a regular 4-weight yarn. So that's what I do for my chubby dinos, and now for my stegosauruses, or I guess I should say chubby stegos. I normally make them out of any weight 4 yarn, just whatever color combinations I want to use, and a 3.5mm hook. I really like this yarn because it's like soft, it's really good. I really like making plushies out of velvet yarn, so this is a very nice thin velvet yarn. It's so soft, and they still turn out the exact same size and everything as if I were to make it with acrylic yarn. So yeah, this one I actually am keeping for myself. I made this one a while ago, like over Thanksgiving break last semester, so this one I'm keeping for myself. I probably will make at least one Stegosaurus for myself, just at some point, just because I want to have one. I would like to have both, you know, as a little matching pair. But I am, for this video, making as many plushies as I can for the market. If I end up keeping one for myself, oh well, but we'll see. Right now I'm intending them to be for the market. So it's the next day. It's about 6:30 right now, and I did finish sewing together my first Stegosaurus. I think he's super cute. The only thing is, this is my first one, and I do wish that I would have sewed the legs just like a little bit further up, closer to the neck. But it's okay. It really does not look bad at all. It's just I do think it's adorable. Like, I think this is so cute. He's so chunky. I love him. And so now I have a matching chubby dino and stegosaurus. So now I'm getting started on my next stegosaurus, and what I've noticed about using this yarn is that, so every time I typically start with a yellow and then end with whatever, and then the next one that I make starts with the red color. And same for this, like, so I made one rainbow one of these before, then the second one, so starting again, now I started with yellow, and the next one is starting with red. And that's just kind of how the pattern has been going with this yarn. And so I'm hoping to make at least 2 more stegosauruses, because one of them I do want to keep for myself. And then after I make the stegosauruses, I will make some more chubby dinos in the same color combination, because I would like to have a few of these. I think the pastel rainbow is just so cute, and I've got plenty of it. Like, I've already made these 2 and another chubby dino, so I've made 3 dinosaurs so far, and I still have this much left. Like, I know I can make quite a few more out of this. And then this is what I have for the accent of my white, and I'm just using this for the accents. I'm not really making an entire dinosaur out of this, unless I want to, but probably not. I like it for the accents. I'm also trying this method that I was talking about yesterday of, instead of just crocheting straight into the next round, I'm going to slip stitch and chain 1 before I start the next round. And so hopefully that solves my issue of it getting slightly crooked. Obviously it's not crooked enough for you to tell. Like, it's not a big enough project for it to make a huge difference, but I can kind of tell just because I made it, you know? If you look at it this way, you can just ever so slightly tell the tail, you know, is a little more angled this way than it should be. And like, it really is not that big of a deal. But if it's a simple fix like this, if that helps, then I'll keep doing that for all of them. And then maybe I'll also do that for this too. Because if you notice, if you look really closely, the patchwork, like for the belly, starts to get a little slanted on one side. And I have made these so many times, looked at the pattern so many times, there's nothing wrong with the pattern. I think it is that same issue of me just crocheting straight into the next round, and it makes my stitch marker slightly off. Which, it's not that big of a deal for these. Obviously I really could just add 1 extra stitch if I wanted to, but I tend to just kind of sew my legs on closer to it so that it's really not that noticeable. Yeah, hopefully this technique works, and then I can keep doing that on all of them. So I will check back in when I have more progress later tonight. Hopefully it's actually a decent amount and I've gotten maybe 1 stegosaurus done. That's too long to say. I'm gonna start calling them stegos. These are dinos, these are stegos, okay? That's just what they're gonna be. I'm gonna try to also thread my stitch marker up, so hopefully I can show you guys, but we will see. Hopefully it works out. I hope to make at least 1 stegosaurus tonight, and then maybe start on another one. I might not sew all the parts together, but I at least want to get them all done, and then maybe I'll start on another one. We'll see. I don't really know how long it takes me to make it so far, but I will let you guys know. Okay, I'm actually so frustrated right now because I'm about to just start practically all the way over. So I didn't do that method for the first like 3 rows. So I'm basically starting again from the 3rd row, because as I was doing that, you see some of these stitches, they just look sideways, which is that chain stitch, you know? It's like I'm chaining up and then it's going over, and so it makes it look weird. I just really am not happy with the way that looks. And then it still was curving. Like, it just wasn't even helping. So then up here, I ended up just going back to my original, you know, like I literally just crocheting the next stitch. So this is the end of the row. Obviously, if I was ending the row totally and stopping here, I would do a slip stitch to fasten it off and make it more seamless. But instead of doing that, to start the next row, I literally just crochet into the next stitch and just keep going, right? But eventually that does make your thing curve. So my new plan, I'm gonna start over on this one. I hate that I just wasted so much time. But once it starts getting to the point where it's curving, so probably whenever I start the decreases, I am going to just shift it. So each row starts and ends with 3 single crochet, right? So I'm basically just gonna shift it and like start with 2 single crochet and with 4 single crochet. So the bottom will still have that same number of 6 flat stitches. I'm just shifting it all by 1. So it's annoying, but whatever, it'll be worth it because I cannot figure out how to make this method work. I might just be doing it wrong, I don't know, but I cannot figure out how to make it line up correctly. Hopefully I only have to shift it once or twice, and it really should not be that much math, you know, like it's literally just 3 stitches at the beginning and end of the row. It should be fine, it just sucks that now I'm starting over. Okay, it's Friday now, and I didn't give an update last night, so I'm just gonna go ahead and recap what I did yesterday, which would be Thursday, and that is I made another Stegosaurus, so now I officially have 2, and guys, I'm not gonna lie, I really want to keep this one for myself. We'll see, depending on how many I end up making, but I do have 1 other chubby dino made, so really I have 2 chubby dinos, 2 Stegosauruses, but I want to keep one of those chubby dinos. I've already decided I'm gonna keep, and I might keep that Stego that I made the other day. So if we don't count those 2, I've got this one and 1 other one already tucked away in Market Prep that like match each other with the same yarn. I at least want to make 2 more of each. That way I could at least have like 3 of each, 3 dinos and 3 Stegos in this color. And then hopefully I can do some other ones with some other colors too. And then last night I also started working on my own balloon dog pattern. So if you guys saw my first market prepping video where I was trying to see how much I could crochet in a day of just like anything, this was the very last thing that I made, and it was this balloon dog pattern that I found on Instagram. And there were just a lot of things that I didn't like about it. It is still, you know, cute. However, it is obviously very floppy, and I think it just looks very skinny. Like I want him to be a little chunkier, you know? So there's just a couple other things that I would have liked to change, and so I was like, you know what? I can just write my own balloon dog pattern. Really, the only thing that I kind of needed to know was how many little like balloons to make, which obviously I could just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 total, right? So you gotta make 10 balloons, and they're all in 1 strand. And then I just need to know how to fold it, and that's all. So last night I started on my own, and it is completely different than that one. It has like a totally different stitch count and everything. So this is what it's looking like so far. Obviously it's not folded yet, okay, so it looks a little weird, but this is gonna be the tail end, and this is one thing that I wanted to change. I wanted it to have more of like a little pointy, skinny tail, but then I wanted the actual balloons to be a little wider. However, I think I also need to start stuffing them a little less firmly, because I did stuff these kind of firm, and when I practiced like folding it, they do kind of get squished together. I think that'll help with my issue of it not being floppy, obviously, but they are a little bit chunky, which I do think looks good. So I don't know, I'm gonna keep working on this for now. I actually am about to have to stop. So I started this last night, and I am definitely gonna at least finish this one today and hopefully make another one. But I will go ahead and tell you guys, I am also working on another market prep video at the same time as this, because there are lots of different things that go into prepping for a market. And so my first couple videos have just been just me crocheting and me kind of sticking to a different theme, like in a day, how many bandanas can I make, you know? And then now it's plushies, right? So this video is just specific to plushies, but I'm also working on another video that is kind of more of the nitty-gritty stuff, I guess. It's not like just crocheting, it's kind of other stuff that I've been putting off. And also during the spring break, I've been busy like during the day most days, usually like working and stuff, and also just spending time with my family and friends. So that's why I'm not getting as many plushies as I would have liked to make. each day. Like it's usually like 1.5, maybe 2, you know. Today I'm not spending quite as much time working during the day, so hopefully I can get a little more plushies made, but then I'm also working on some other market prepping stuff. So you guys will see that in another video, but just know that is kind of why I'm not getting a whole lot of plushies done each day, is because I'm not really spending the entire day just making plushies. I'm also doing other stuff. So I've got about 30 minutes before I need to leave, so I'm just gonna keep working on this balloon dog, and I will update you guys later and show you when it's done. Okay, so it's the end of the night now. It's actually a little past midnight, so technically it's Saturday, but we're still gonna count this as Friday. And I made a couple things. They are small things, but hey, the number's up, okay? I have unfortunate news about the balloon dog. I ran out of yarn. I got almost 7 balloons done, and I need 10. And I don't have any more of this yarn, surprisingly. I don't know why. I didn't even realize that. So I wish I would have checked that before I started this, but I thought I had enough. So we still gonna count this, okay? It's 80% of the way done, and I can't finish it yet, or at least before this video's over. Look at that, like, when it's folded together, that's what it's gonna look like. This is the neck, and then I still gotta do the head, right? But like, it's gonna be so cute when it's done. I just love it. We're gonna count this as close enough, okay? And then I made 2 more things. I will say part of the reason I didn't get as much done today is because I basically filmed a whole nother YouTube video earlier in the day, which you guys will see. So I only made 2 more things, but it's okay, they're still cute. I made 1 gummy bear keychain because I realized that I am kind of low on gummy bears. So I have a few done, kind of like one of each color of the rainbow, basically. And I need a lot more, right? And they're so quick and easy. I wanted to just end the night with some quicker things. These take like 30 minutes. And then the next thing I made is something I've actually never made before, and I kind of want to do some more experimenting with this. So this is a free like video tutorial that I found, and it's this really cute like hanging pot planter. And so I only followed the video tutorial for the actual like pot and like the little dirt. Everything else, like the leaves and the strap, that was all my like freehanding, kind of just, I didn't want to just follow the video exactly. It was a little more complicated than I felt was necessary. I was like, okay, I can just easily just crochet some leaves onto here. It doesn't have to be any particular order, like they're leaves, you know, like it doesn't have to be super specific. But one of my friends gave me an idea to make, like when I make more of these, instead of just doing them all the same, I really want to do the next one with some leaves that are like dangling down, like one of those plants. I don't know what that kind of plant is called, but so I might alternate between doing something kind of with shorter leaves like this and then something with longer leaves that hangs down. I think that would be so cute. And then I just did a chain of 70 to make it one of my little car hangers, which I think part of that is because I did use a smaller hook. So for this kind of yarn, I use a 3.5mm, and for my other car hangers that are just the regular flowers, I think I chained 50 in between those. I don't know, it just worked. It was a good length. And also those, it's not like 50 and it's like the ends are even. They're gonna be like staggered when I hang them. So I think that was part of the reason why it was okay for it to have a little bit of a shorter chain. But yeah, and for those I also used a 4mm, so it was a little bigger. But I just think this is so cute and it's gonna look so good. So I think I'm gonna kind of stick with the theme of just like plants for the car hanger stuff, because I think I'll still get a good variety of that. You know, I'll have a good variety of these, you know, some with short leaves, some with long leaves, and then the other ones are just like simple little flowers. And so tomorrow I am going to try and crochet some more stuff. I might tackle another one of these, we'll see. But I think tomorrow I am gonna work on some smaller projects like this too, because I know I told y'all that I want to make a bunch of dinos, but I can't do that all in a week, especially when I'm like have been super busy each day. And I also don't want to just bore y'all with just showing y'all the same dinosaurs over and over again. So here's to switching it up. But yeah, tomorrow I will also have another busy day, but I will try and crochet as much as I can. But unfortunately, I do also kind of have to like clean up my like setup and stuff and start getting ready, because Sunday I have to go back to school, unfortunately. I really wish spring break was longer. This is just not long enough. But okay, that is all that I have for tonight, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, I totally forgot and also kind of didn't have time to check in later last night. So it's Sunday now, but yesterday I did make one thing. This was the only thing that I had time to finish. So y'all saw the other plant hanger that I made. This one I did it with longer leaves, and I think it looks cute, and I showed some of my friends and they said it was really cute. So I kind of like the shorter leaves better. I don't know. I think they both look really cute though. So I still am planning on making a couple more of these. I kind of want to do 2 more, so like 1 more of the shorter leaves, 1 more of the longer leaves, but in a different shade of green. I have one like lighter shade of green, so I think that'll look really good as like just more options to choose from basically. And also I freehanded the leaves on these. The only thing I actually used that tutorial for was just the actual like pot part, but then the leaves I just wung it for both of them, and then I just made a chain of 70 for the strap. So maybe I will post a little tutorial eventually if somebody wants it. I don't know, or if I feel like it, because I wrote it all down. I am surprised, you know, I did not have this originally as my plan for over break, but I basically wrote like 2 patterns. Like I wrote my balloon dog pattern, and then I also wrote out the little pattern for the leaves. Also, I did get a haircut last night. It was definitely time. My hair was getting way too long and I cut like 5 inches off. And then also yesterday I started on another chubby dino, but I only got this far because then I ended up working on some other stuff for market prep stuff that isn't really related to this video, so y'all will still see that eventually. But yeah, I just ended up not having a lot of time. But yeah, so today it's around like noon right now, and I do have to drive back up to school today, so that sucks. That's gonna take some of my time, and I still have to like pack up everything, including like my tables and stuff that I gotta load into my car and bring up there. And then I've also got to pick out like a bunch of yarn and kind of brainstorm projects for me to make while I'm there, because I will be at school for 2 weeks until I come back for a weekend. I might work on this dino some more tonight, or I might make some more plant hangers, just because the pots do actually work up really fast. It's just, and the smaller leaves do too, it's just when I do it with the longer leaves it does take a while. So we will see how much I get done later tonight whenever I get back up to school. But now I am about to start packing up and heading that way. Okay, it's a few days later, and unfortunately I do not have any more plushie updates, because when I got back home Sunday night, my boyfriend ended up coming over and it was already kind of late, like dinner time, and I got back like exactly an hour before the tornado siren started going off. So we were kind of just chilling, waiting out a tornado, and I just decided not to make anything that night. So, and then now it's actually Wednesday when I'm filming this, and we have another tornado warning today. They actually canceled all classes for today. Campus is closed now. So if you're seeing this video, I survived. This is our 3rd tornado warning in this same month. So, or I guess now technically it is, yesterday was April 1st, so within a month span. But anyway, yeah, that is all that I have for this video. I will put the total number of plushies on the screen. And so yeah, that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!